I ain't wasting energy on you. No way. Go away. I ain't wasting energy on you. No way. Go away if you don't rock.
Well. 91.3 WVST. This is Soul Logistic Radio Show. I got a special guest, my lady friend, Toy Taha. What's popping?
How are you, Mr. Duck? Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for doing the interview. First, I got to talk about the Hopewell Juneteenth Festival goes down June 15th, 3 p.m. Hopewell, VA. We're going to turn up. It's a free event. Come out, get your T-shirts at soullogistikradio.club and all that. Okay, that's the business. Now get to the real business. Toy Taha with that dope record, Thriller is Gone. Tell the people a little something about Toy.
A little bit of something about Toy would be I'm a singer, songwriter, arranger. I love music. I love all genres, but soul is my foundation, and so you'll hear it no matter what genre I move through.
Hey, you from Philly, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you inspired by all the Philly greats, right?
Absolutely, for sure. Starting with the godmother of soul, Patti LaBelle. Jill Scott, Jasmine Sullivan, Kindred the Family Soul, the list goes on. Frankie Beverly. So all of that is Philly.
So what did you take anything from it was inspired by Gamble and Huff?
For sure. They are the founders of Philly Soul. So how could I not, if I'm going to incorporate that sound throughout the music, I have to be inspired by Gamble and Huff.
Word. So what got you started?
I would say just listening to my mother playing, her records. She had a massive collection of vinyl. And when I was about 3 or 4, I would just sing along. She would play Tina Marie, Phyllis Hyman, Anita Baker, Stephanie Mills. And you know what? She always points out to me, she's like, when you do the interviews, you never say that I used to play Earth, Wind, and Fire. Enchantment and Commodores, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to say that one next time.
Well, what is it about mom and the records, man? Like everybody, and the thing about back in the day, when you listen to music, your mother's music or your parents' music, you never look at it as old people music. You look at it just music, right?
Yes, and I would have to say that the 70s era is my favorite of all
I'm telling
time.
you.
I think it's nothing like it. Everybody sounded, excellent, and everybody had their own sound. Nobody sounded the same.
Right.
And that's something that I really love about all of those bands, So I definitely have studied them.
So I'm going through my email and I see a record called The Thrill Is Gone. I said, well, did somebody just flip BB King records? So let me check this out. And I checked it out and I was amazed. Tell me how that song came about.
Oh, thank you so much. So, like you said, a lot of people probably thought that it would be a cover song. And I did grow up on BB King and Bobby Blue Bland. And, my grandfather was heavy into soul music and blues. So it is, sort of an homage to them. And the record came along out of me working with Grammy-nominated producer and arranger and musician, Lorenzo Johnson. And that was our first session together. We came up with Thrill Is Gone. And he basically said, give me a little something as far as a melody. And I started humming. And, he is brilliant. He came up with that like 1, 2, 3. And I wrote the lyrics and arrangement, and that was it.
How do you just hook up with, you just throwing names, like how you just hook up with a Grammy Award producer? How you just do that?
I would have to say that he reached out on Instagram. I don't know how he found it. You know what, he told me how, but he reached out and he said, I want to see what we can come up with. And of course I was honored to work with him because he is known for some works with my inspirations, Lettucey and Mesa. so of course, when I got that notification, I was like, wait a minute, is this the real person? First of all. And then, when I found out, okay, it is really him and, all of that, I was like, wow, very excited and happy to work with him.
Well, my partner just popped in. There go my partner. What up, Fat Tommy?
Good morning, universe. How y'all gonna start 3 minutes early, man?
Hey man, the conversation was getting so great, we just
You
jumped
said
into it.
might as well get to it. It's going well. How you
Right.
doing, sister? How are you?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Man, I just listened to The Thrill Is Mine. I'm like, okay.
Thriller's gone.
No, 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 no. The thrill is mine. The thrill ain't
Oh.
gone. I'm listening to a song. When I listened, the thrill was mine. So I went back and I listened to a lot of her music, and it's all this slow, soulful loving, and that's what I mean by the thrill is mine. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
God bless, God bless.
The thrill ain't going nowhere in this instance. The thrill is staying right here because I'm really geeked up on your sound and everything. I mean, I'm happy to hear some soulful like R&B that has a purpose driven that actually displays a songwriting talent. I mean, a
Thank
lot of
you.
people make music, but they aren't necessarily good songwriters.
Mm.
So I'm glad and happy to see that you are writing songs like for the people that have some substance, and that probably explains why when I looked it up, it was saying that you was all overseas in Germany because usually when you take off in Europe, it's because you're such a good songwriter. So if I could just jump right in here and ask a question,
Yes.
how was
Feel
that
free.
successful?
I said, feel
How was
free. Go ahead.
how was that from just like jumping in and being so well received overseas and maybe not as much in America? I don't know what your reception is in America, but based on what I was reading online, it seems to me that they're gravitating towards you. How does that make you feel?
Well, I would have to say that it makes me feel incredible. But at the same time, I am a very harsh critic of myself. And so, I guess that I would have to say it does provide some validation, even though we shouldn't look for it. It definitely does, and it makes me feel good that the music is being received by Germany and the UK, Italy, all of these places that for sure I would wish and hope that Philly gravitates, because they're like the last to support me, my home.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
I can say that definitely doesn't feel so good, but
But
um,
wait,
I
Welcome to the club.
you should feel great.
have to be
You
thankful
actually
of
should feel
all that
great
are.
about that. That's a really good sign that Philly's not messing with you. Don't shrug that. Be happy that Philly's not messing with you. Because
Why?
look, Jesus wasn't nobody believing him in Nazareth. D'Angelo, Richmond wasn't messing with D'Angelo when he first came out. They hired me to work the project because Richmond was lagging in the whole rest of the world. I say it to say this. Most stars, most people that really, and it's been my experience that most people that blow up have to circle back around the home. A
Mm.
lot of people don't start at home because everybody at home feel like they know you. You know what I'm saying? They feel like she a homegirl, she just local, she just this. And so you have to go get the rest of the world and circle back. And so many of the greats have had that same problem. So that's a problem that most greats have. So in that, I would say embrace it, knowing that you know what, I'm in the same boat. You know, Gary, Indiana ain't like Michael Jackson. They had to move. Mike and them had to. Joe said, "Yo, we packing up the bus. We moving." So you in good company with that. Don't let that. And if validation, I know you shouldn't need it, but let me tell you, being a long time industry veteran, having worked on from D'Angelo to Tony Braxton to TLC to Whitney Houston to Outkast, I'm here to validate you and hard stamp you. I'm going in saying that, yo, you are a very talented songwriter. You have a very beautiful voice that the whole world needs to receive. So if validation is what you're looking for, I stamp you. You validated. Consider yourself validated.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And then
Mm.
we're on three stations. The Soul Cafe is you right in line with what they're
That's right.
playing. Every place that we're putting you at, you're in the right place. It's your audience. These are the people that look for the type of music you're doing.
Yeah.
And listen, it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard because you're not on the algorithm that the rest of the industry is trying to push. And
Mhm.
that too is not a bad thing because we need what you're offering. It's just that you're going to have to take the long way around until the world catch up and realize that this is what R&B is missing. So I would encourage you to don't take that. Do like Tupac. Get your weight up with hate. Don't even worry about that. Take that and go, look, I'm still going to win despite all of this. So then when you come back and people say, well, what was Philly? You can go, I had to win them over. Because you got a lot of great people that came out your city that had to do the exact same thing. The Jill Scotts, the Vivian
Mhm.
Greens, the Roots, all of them had to win Philly over. Meek Mills, everybody, when you start looking, Philly is a northern city that is waiting. Most cities want to wait to stamp their own. They want to wait to make sure that Jersey like her. They want to wait and make sure New York like her. They want to wait and see if Baltimore like her.
Right.
Then when all of them like her, they gonna go, oh, that's our girl. She from Philly. That's Philly, Philly. Then you're gonna hear all of that. You know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, when you need that energy,
That's up.
people kind of aren't. They that's just the way we are. I can't even explain how. But also, here's the other thing in that. If your city really loved you and the rest of the world rejected you, it would hurt more. See, you could come home and still get hugged and know that it's one or two or three people that love you. If the city really was behind you and then you went out into the world, you'd be like, but the city getting your skin tough. So when you go out in the world and you be like, well, I get this at home, you can take it. Because if the city love you and you go out in the world and get punched in the face, you come running back to Philly crying. See, they making you tough so you can face that when you get out in the world. That's
So
really
so
how,
so
because
fat
look,
fat
let's even,
so for, hold on, fat time. You trying to tell it as a football player, it would be a good thing to get booed at home?
she's not a football player. What I would say is this. If Jesus was in Nazareth and everybody believed and received his message, he
We
would just
wouldn't.
think everybody's supposed to listen. But by his hometown not liking it, then when he went out amongst the world, he was already expecting people not to like it, so he went above and beyond. So when she puts her music out there, if Philly already liked it, and then she went to Jersey and they dissed her, her heart would be hurt. See, if your hometown kind of toughens you up, when you go to Jersey, you can beat the naysayers because your heart has already been strengthened.
How
That's
you
what I'm saying.
how you gonna tell her how to feel? So how do you feel about it?
I can agree. I think that that
Okay.
is a good analogy, and I'm definitely going to take in and soak in what you're saying.
Do you got a album, a whole project coming out?
Well, I have the previous EP, which is Eight, which came out in 2022, which had the lead single Sweet Effects and Loving on Me. And we are working on more singles. I have some singles ready to go, but just deciding what to put out next.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty dope. Anything you want to tell the people?
Okay,
And so
can I
just
jump
like
in from my industry expertise?
go.
This is what I would jump in and tell you, Tay. Uh, the state of music right now is in such a state that you don't have to wait. We used to when I came and I worked the records, we had a formula. We put out a single, wait for that single to take, then you put out three singles. On the third single, you release the album, and then that's how it's done. But in today's state, you really content is king. So you really and see a lot of artists are always waiting to perfect their music. We're in a stage in life right now where you have an opportunity to truly be yourself. So don't hang on to that music. What's in your heart, record it and put it out there and leave it for the masses. Because when you look, so I just watched, I listened to Drake's whole catalog about 4 weeks ago, and I realized that Drake has about somewhere between 21 and 29 songs on every project. When
Mm.
I sit around, I look at all these people releasing singles. It's really more now about getting the music out, and you have a sound, so you got to constantly keep feeding the machine music. So if you do this, do this. Go in. Don't wait on an album to be done. Release music when you hear it and it moves you. Look, if it moves you, it moves me. Doesn't matter if it moves you to say I don't like it or if it moves you to say I love it. That's still an emotion. Music is about evoking emotion. Like it or love it. You know, if somebody tell you they hate your record, love them because you still got emotion out of them. You draw an emotion of hatred. The thing that I tell people is don't try to have a mediocre song where people look at you and go, it's all right. You want one or two responses. You
Okay.
want it's great or I hate it because that means they're passionate about their opinion. If you're in the middle, you're like just they can
True.
leave it or take it, and
True.
that's what you'll be. You want to be on one side or the other. For as many people, if somebody says they hate you and they hate your music, there's gonna be 10 others that's gonna say they love it. But when
Mm.
you're in the middle, it's wishy washy.
Okay.
Just my 2 cents.
But you probably wouldn't want to be in the studio with Fat Tommy because he probably said, "I hate it. Let's put it out."
Right? Absolutely.
But you're right. Sometimes when the execs say they hate the record and the artists love it, it sometimes become a hit, like on Marvin Gaye, like Marvin Gaye album, right? What's
Yep.
going on album? Okay.
The execs that wouldn't be out right now. The execs would be like, we're not feeling. And then on the flip side, Andre never had a record he liked. He was always trying to tweak it just a little bit more. So you got. I know a lot of artists, especially soul and R&B artists. It's like their baby to them, and they want to get it exactly right. Perfection does not exist.
That
Uh,
is
uh,
me. I try my hardest to my standards to perfect the music, and
it doesn't exist.
that's what can be the hold up sometimes. But
Mm.
yeah, for sure.
Success and greatness is on the other side of impossibilities, and it's
Mm.
just not right. So when you listen and it's just not right, maybe that piece that you think is wrong is what's going to differentiate you from the rest of the world.
Mm.
You trying to
Mm.
make it exactly right. You're not a computer. You're a human. You're fallible. Show that. People want to see your vulnerabilities. So while you're trying to perfect something, it's like making a cake. You want to go right by the recipe, but when you put just a little more sugar than grandma did, you go, oh, or you making it and you spill some pineapple juice in it and you go, I can't throw it away. I didn't come too far. And then you're like, oh, I didn't created
Yeah,
something. And
right,
that's what
right.
you in. You are a creator. Create.
Because probably you're right. The person that came up with pineapple ups down, up down, upside down
Upside down,
cake.
dropped
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
picked it up, put it back in the bowl, said, "We going with it."
Okay.
That is true. Sometimes you have to stray from those formulas and, things like that. Like I do have a record in mind that I want to put out, but, at some point I have to not think of what everybody is going to think and how they're
Mm.
going to receive it, and, know that I put the best that I put in it, and just see what happens.
The greats make music for themselves and bring the world to where they're at.
True,
Mm.
The
true,
artists that don't
true.
last make music for the industry and for the radio and try to jump on what they're on. You're not trying to do that. You have to make music that sits well with you because then you will display it in its best form and fashion. If you're making something because you think Fat Tommy is gonna like it and that's what he's looking for, and he's the person I need to win on my side, no, because then every time you feel like you need to do something, you're gonna be looking for what I like. This
And
is
then
about you
and then
and your
Fat
art.
Tommy, and then you might flip flop, right?
Right. I'm a flip flopper. I mean, I'll love you 1 minute and be like, man, I'm sick of that the next minute. So you got to be true to you so that you could stand on it. So when I'm not feeling it, you still feel good about it. Art is about you. You're the artist. You're the creator. That's why artist has the word art in it because the art comes from within you. Don't try to please the world. Please yourself. This is
But
masturbation music.
what? Hey, so Toya, how you feel about your song organically climbing all these charts? I mean, I'm playing it, and overseas everybody's playing. How you feel about organically it happened for you?
Sometimes it does leave me speechless because we just went surpassed over 50K on Spotify, and for me to be a totally independent artist, it's just like wow, but to touch the charts, Thrill is gone. We just got on iTunes Germany and Tunisia. we charted there in Mali and Africa. So I'm just like,
What'd you think about the record when you released it? What'd you think it was gonna do?
what I had hopes for.
No, not hopes. When you listened to it, what did you think? Was it a song that you said, I really like this song, or was it one that you weren't sure about? Were you 100% sure, 50% sure, or not sure at all?
No, I would say that I was 100% sure that
Okay.
what I put into it and what Lorenzo contributed, and also I have to shout out Kanita Rogers, and she added supporting vocals and she mixed and mastered the
Mm.
song. But I feel like everything that all of us put into it was worthy of the reception, and I'm just honored and grateful for it.
Well, that
Mm.
means you're doing everything right. So everything that you're doing, keep doing that. It's working. It's working without a machine behind you. You
Thank
made a great record and you put it out there. You were vulnerable for the world and it came back with two thumbs up. So
thank
now you have to ride that wave. Keep it coming because the more and are y'all reaching out to Germany and Tunisia because in this game that you're entering into, you have to chase the record. So if you know you're blowing up in Germany, you need to quickly find a German promoter to get you overseas so you can get into Europe so you can continue to climb. So I would encourage your management team to start reaching out to these markets where you're blowing up because
You got
you go to where you're received, not where you're not where you're tolerated, but where you're celebrated. And you're being celebrated in Germany and in Europe right now. So you need to quickly figure out how you can get there.
you got any shows coming up?
No, I do not. So that is something that I do battle with, performance anxiety.
Oh,
So that would be a little bit of a hindrance. So it's not that I won't perform, because I will. It's just that the anxiety
excited.
that leads up to it, and I to date
Well, again, you're in.
I've only had one show, um,
What?
which I opened up for legendary MC Chub Rock. And
What?
yeah, and he allowed me to do 30 minutes, and I did the original music and I did a couple of covers, and I thought that it went well. He, was looking for me. He's like, "Toy Taha, where are you? You are excellent." And I'm like, "Wow," so to even have his stamp of approval, meant the world. But I don't have management. I manage myself.
Hmm.
And so, like, when I say I'm totally independent, I'm totally independent.
Yo,
Well,
you about to blow up. You better get that team together. You about to blow up. And the anxiety, don't feel bad about that. I've been doing it for a long time. I still get anxiety all the
well,
time.
a lot. Andre 3000, Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand said every time she performed, she was scared to death. So I mean,
How I
the
am.
greats, you go out there and do your job and get off the stage. It's just like no different than what's his name from Baltimore throwing up before the game. The quarterback, he said he still throw up. He
Oh,
throw up before the game. He like the number four quarterback, top five quarterback in the country. Before he go to play football, he throwing up on the sideline
I'm
because
not
of the
that bad.
anxiety.
I'm not that bad. But yeah, but I always was told that you're nervous because you're about to do something. If you're not going to do anything, you shouldn't be nervous, right? Because you're about to do something. So you're going out there. And but once you touch the mic, right, you don't feel it no more, right? Once that mic in your hand, it's over.
I would say after maybe the first 2 minutes or so, maybe two
Okay.
or 3 minutes, because I haven't done it this year, but I was trying to get more acclimated on the stage, and I was going around to different open mics here in Philly
Right.
to, like, get a little bit, because I just started performing live 3 years ago. So
Hmm.
even though I've been singing my whole life, writing songs since 8 years old, and releasing the music since 10 years ago, I've never gotten to that point of performing live and all of that. So
Can you dance? Can you dance?
I can dance, but that's not my zhuzh with this type of music.
I know, right?
I
So,
know you can call me up on stage and say, "Hey, I'm gonna sing this," and pull me close and say, "Come on," and we could go our little two step on. We get our two step on, and you sing it
Yeah.
to me. You
that's
know?
what I
Oh
was
wait,
about to say.
you
With
can't be singing "The Thrill Is Gone" though. Hold on, that ain't gonna work,
this
girl.
music is
We're
all
gonna
you're gonna
change that.
get
The
is a
thrill is
two-step.
mine. The thrill is mine.
Yeah, with this music, the only thing you're going to get is a two-step. I'm not going to do an 8 count and
Right.
that. No.
When I grew up, we used to slow drag that 1, 2, baby. Oh, that's right. That's all we need, a good slow drag. See, you uniting the world. You bringing the world together. You know how close you got to be to dance to that song? Like you are making the world a better place.
Thrill is going is more like, for nodding your head. I don't know if this is a slow
Yeah.
drag or any of that, but sweet effects and space and time.
Right.
That's slow drag music.
So I want to thank you for coming today, man. Really appreciate it. Keep rocking. Any last words you want to tell the folks?
Thank you so much to everybody in Petersburg, Virginia. Thank you to both of you for pouring into me and supporting the music. And I hope to have your continued support. Thank you so much.
You
Tell
got it.
everybody where to find you again. We like to leave it. Let everybody know where they can find you, download the music, everything. How to reach you. Any manager that want to call you up and say, "Yo, I want to manage you." Tell them how to contact you.
You can contact me on toytaha.com. All of the socials is Toy Taha, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. It's Toy Taha Music. And on the website, you can see all of the music. It'll reroute to Bandcamp or the major DSPs. And you can navigate through the tabs and see the past interviews and chart history and all of that kind of stuff. So
And she's on Spotify and iTunes. I found her there, so you can find her on Spotify, iTunes. I think I saw something that had you on SoundCloud. I didn't click on that link, but I think I saw a SoundCloud. But definitely, I know she could be found on Spotify and iTunes. So really, thank you, and I wish you many, many more successes.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
I
Thanks, Toy. Peace.
appreciate you. Peace.
Peace.